Hi, I'm Teja Gerken with Peghead Nation, and I'm here with Taylor's new GT611e LTD. This is part of a trio of new grand theater guitars that Taylor has just introduced in January of 2022 as part of their sort of new spring lineup of new instruments for the year, introduced right around the time when we'd ordinarily have a NAMM show, which of course this year has been postponed once again due to COVID restrictions. So we have this lovely trio of new grand theater guitars here. The one I'm holding, which I'm going to focus on right now, is the GT611e LTD, as I already mentioned. The other ones are the GT Mahogany and the GT Blacktop, and I'm going to get to those in separate demos very shortly here. But today, let's focus on this beautiful maple guitar. So as Taylor has done from the beginning with these grand theater instruments, they've kind of split the lineup into several more entry-level models, which are found in the Mahogany and the Blacktop, and some more high-end models, which in the past has included the 811e, which fits right into the 800 series, as well as the Koa version of the grand theater. The guitar that I have here, of course, fits right into Taylor's 600 series, which is one of their more high-end lines of instruments, and as such it has the same kind of appointments and woods and features that you would expect from a 600 series guitar. The GT611e LTD is actually a limited edition guitar. That's what the LTD stands for, and it's just really a gorgeous instrument. I've had this guitar for a couple of weeks now, and I've really enjoyed doing some playing on it, both at home and here in the studio. And as I mentioned, it follows the typical 600 appointments and choice of materials, and that means it has a spruce top, it has beautiful big leaf maple back and sides, of course they're all solid woods. It also has maple binding, but it's offset in color from the back and sides. It has a maple neck, which has been part of the 600 series for a long time, matched with ebony fingerboard and bridge. It has the mini Taylor nickel tuners, beautiful rosette, the standard wooden Taylor pickguard, and really kind of upscale appointments all around. Slight edge burst finished on the top here. It is really a very nice looking guitar. Like all the grand theater guitars, the guitar is braced with what Taylor calls C-class bracing, and that's kind of an adaptation of Taylor's V-class. It essentially has one bar that moves down the entire bass side of the top. You could almost call it a bass bar, and then there are some smaller, almost like tone bar braces on both sides, the treble and the bass side of the guitar. So fairly lightly braced, which is fitting for a smaller guitar. These grand theaters measure 15 inches across the lower bout, which kind of puts it around 00 territory or so, just a tiny bit smaller than Taylor's grand concert guitars across the lower bout. But of course, it does have a shorter scale. It's a 24 1/8 inch scale, which is even a little bit shorter than Taylor's traditional short scale, kind of right in between where the GS Mini would have been and where Taylor's typical short scale sits. It's actually the same as a capo plays at the first fret with a standard 25 1/2 inch scale. So very comfortable to play, and that is really playing comfort really is where these grand theaters excel. I think you can sort of think of them as a contemporary modern parlor guitar. It's the ideal guitar to play at home when you're sitting on the couch, when a large guitar might be slightly unwieldy. And of course, it is ideal for players who are smaller, who are of smaller proportions. The guitar really rests very easily. I've tried them with a strap as well, and they're very comfortable to play that way. But regardless of your physical frame or abilities, having a guitar that is as easy as possible to play is just really forward-coming when it comes to learning new material. And having now had this guitar at home for a little while, that is exactly what I enjoy doing with it. Whenever I sit down to practice, why not do it on a guitar that is super easy to play? And that really is where these guitars just really shine. That is not to say that they don't also sound great. They are surprisingly full and rich sounding for a relatively small guitar, and And I think if you just listen to this guitar without seeing that it's a small instrument, you wouldn't associate it necessarily with a smaller guitar, or perhaps even like a parlor guitar sound, which does often have a little bit more of a smaller tonality than these guitars, which really have a similar voice to other contemporary Taylors. That sound, of course, includes different playing styles. You heard me finger pick the guitar a little bit in the intro to this, and I was in drop D tuning for that. I've tuned the low string back up to E, and let me just show you what it sounds like if I'm strumming it just a little. So a really nice full voice that would work well anytime you need to strum a guitar. In particular with this maple version, you get that clarity and sort of that shine that maple guitars are well known for. And it really translates well into this size guitar. Of course, the guitar includes Taylor's ES2 electronics, same electronics that are found on most Taylors these days. And by the time you plug the guitar in, the size difference really becomes meaningless. These would be very capable performance guitars. And so I'm going to go out and show you what it sounds like plugged into a Fishman Loudbox mini amplifier. And I definitely recommend you check these out at your local Taylor dealer, where these should be arriving very soon. Come back here for more of our gear demos. My name is Teja Gerken, and we will get to these two other Grand Theater guitars very shortly, so look out for those demos.